President-elect Donald Trump is now taking credit for things that he didn't even do. He had no hand in whatsoever. Now, what am I talking about? Well, on Twitter, where Donald Trump, of course, likes to go, he took credit for the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index hitting a 15-year high. Now, how did he do that? Well, he essentially thanked himself. Let me read you the tweet here. He said the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index for December surged nearly 4 points to 113.7, the highest level in more than 15 years. Thanks, Donald. I guarantee that's going to be the new thanks, Obama. Anyway, now let me give you some information on this. I'm not just covering the tweet just to cover the tweet. I actually want to get to the information behind it. Now, for those of you who don't know, the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index is basically an indicator designed to measure the confidence of consumers. It makes sense. It's in the name, right? Now, that measure is defined as the degree of optimism on the state of the economy that consumers are expressing through their activities such as saving money or spending money. Okay, so basically either they're able to save it or they're spend it. Okay. Now, confidence, of course, is issued by monthly by the Conference Board, an independent economic research organization, and is based on only about 5,000 households. Now, such measurement, they say, is indicative of consumption component level of the GDP. Now, CCI looks at 5 different factors when putting out its confidence rating. Number 1, it's the current business conditions. Number 2, business conditions for the next 6 months. Number 3, current employment conditions for the next 6 months, and total family income for the next 6 months. So that's what they looked at. Now, and of course, they looked at it. They looked at it now. Business is doing incredibly well. Employment is actually up. The unemployment level has obviously gone down quite a bit. So look, things are, and when you look at those metrics, things are pretty decent. Now, if there are other metrics that this thing completely ignores, the fact that there's a lot of underemployment, stagnant wages, things like that. But again, they don't look at any of that when they try to make this consumer confidence index. It's all about basically spending money. How much money are people spending? How much crap are people buying? Okay. Anyway, with that kind of context set up, let's go into what the issue with this is, with Donald Trump taking credit for this. So what he's doing is he's essentially taking credit for the Obama economy. The very thing, of course, that he painted in the campaign as doing terribly. Oh my God, the Obama economy is absolutely terrible. Look at all these people hurting. That's not, it's true. There are a lot of people hurting. Now he's turning around and saying, look, consumer confidence. Look at that. I'm the best. Look at me. Believe me. In fact,
believe me.
I'm the best. Look at that. My candidacy has inspired hope. In fact, there's a tweet there later, but let me tell you something. He doesn't know what this actually is about. He literally thinks that his election is causing this. Now, look, there are no doubt people that are excited about a Trump presidency. Now, a lot of them happen to be multinational corporations that are looking forward to their enormous tax cuts and other goodies they're going to get under a Republican administration. Sure. But there are actually a lot of Trump supporters out there that literally think, oh boy, this guy's going to actually help me. He's going to help, for example, bring my coal job back. Well, for that guy sitting in Appalachia, sorry, dude. I got news for you, buddy. He's not bringing back your job. Not that job, anyway. Why? It's because oil and gas, right now, they're just cheaper. In order to bring coal back, he might have to literally rig the market in favor of coal. Basically using government to pick winners and losers, something that, of course, Republicans say that they don't like to do. And Republican voters especially hate. Hey, I don't want the government picking winners and losers. Well, in order to make coal a winner, you're going to have to make somebody else a loser. Because right now, coal is not winning on its own. It's on its way out. And it's not because of the regulations. It's because of, hey, the invisible hand of the market is keeping the coal industry down. And there's really nothing that he can do about it. Now, and of course, wanting to try to rig the system, we call that crony capitalism, by the way. But again, that's not really going to stop people who have bought into the Trump phenomenon. Sad thing is, look, Donald Trump, what he's doing by doing these self-congratulating tweets is he's getting high in his own supply, okay? And as proof of that, he goes, I go to another tweet. He said, the world was gloomy before I won. There was no hope. Now the market is up nearly 10%, and Christmas spending is over $1 trillion. Now, speaking of the market, again, people who are supporting Trump are going crazy over the market. But who does it really help? Well, it's not helping regular people. In fact, when they were freaking out over the Dow, for example, the Dow went up, what, like 20%? They're saying, yes, go Trump, yes. That means the economy is doing great. No, it really doesn't. Dow only helps people that have investments, for example, IRAs or 401ks, or big investments in some of these businesses. Now, if you're that poor guy in Appalachia, well, you're not going to benefit. The only people that really benefit are those who make money from capital gains. So that's not going to help you. That's going to help him. That's going to help these giant multinational corporations. How much more evidence do I have to give you to show you that this guy is not on your side? Of course, soon enough, I believe it's going to be clear enough that he's only there to enrich himself and his wealthy donors. But again, the problem with this is, look at the gall on this guy. Essentially taking full credit for the Obama economy before he's even taken office. So, man. And it looks ridiculous because when you go back and realize that when Trump took office, the consumer confidence index was a disastrous 37.7. Now, look, if President Obama left Donald Trump that, well, obviously there would be no way he would take credit before he went into office. And he shouldn't have, because that would have been Obama's fault. That would have been his fault for his bad economy. Now, of course, that didn't happen. Instead, the CCI had gone up 86% in just 4 years. By the end of 2014, for example, the consumer confidence was back up to its January 2007 high. Before, of course, there was a tumble. So look, if Donald Trump, if consumer confidence goes up while Donald Trump is president, I'll give him credit for that, okay? But it has to be based on his policies and after he takes office. And Trump, let's be honest, the guy's kind of lucky. He's inheriting a decent economy. Not great. There's a lot of problems. Right now, our economy favors the rich and powerful. And there's a lot of people who feel like they've been left behind by neoliberalism, for example. I know. I'm one of the people left behind by neoliberalism. There's a lot of issues with stagnant wages and rising incomes for the wealthy and huge income disparity. All that stuff is part of the Obama economy, the Obama, Clinton, Bush economy. So don't mistake that as saying, hey, everything's hunky-dory, everything's fantastic. No, it's not everything's fantastic, but everything's also not into free fall either. So, you know, let's make a distinction here. But again, compared to to the economic conditions that Obama inherited, Trump, if he does manage to raise the economy, and he should, well, it should be pretty easy. It should be a slam dunk. Now, of course, on the other hand, if he fucks up the economy after inheriting a better economy than what Barack Obama inherited, well, there's not going to be really anyone else to blame other than him. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.